Vodkast. Okay, welcome to episode 3 of the Vodkast. Things are getting really interesting around here. I hope you like the new intro. It's a lot of fun to shoot. I say interesting because I have, for you guys this week, on the 3rd episode of the Vodkast, we have directors Sam, Reid, and Justin Keebs of Edmonton, Alberta. And I'm going to talk to them about the director-composer relationship. I compose music for their feature film On the Rocks. I'll play the trailer before we get into the interview. It went for like an hour, so I'm not going to be able to answer any questions about mixes and that. I'll do it, I promise, on the 4th edition of the Vodkast. But I think that this is going to be really interesting for you guys. Anyone who wants to learn how to, how the composer-director dynamic works is going to get a real kick out of this video. So we cover things like how to price yourself, how much to ask for as far as the deposit goes, what kind of relationship that the director expects to have with the composer. We're going to talk about where directors look for composers, so you guys might learn a few tips and things on how to network and market yourselves a little better. I thought that I'd do this because instead of just me droning on about composing and networking and all that stuff, you get to hear it from the people who are actually employing composers. And I think that's really important. So anyway, I should say that the first 20-25 minutes or so, we're talking about movies and filmmaking and stuff. I'd recommend that you don't skip ahead. I know it might be tempting to because we're not talking about composing, but I read this great quote by Cliff Martinez. He did the music for Drive. He's going to be doing the music for Neon Demon. And he just had some really interesting things to say. He said that the best composers that he knows are filmmakers first and composers second. And he just meant that the best composers can sort of tease out the story and the details and the moods and the plot and the themes of the plot with their music and then go ahead and compose it. So they have an understanding of character. They know how the camera moves. They know how a plot advances. And I think that by talking to directors about filmmaking, by understanding more about filmmaking on your end too, you might just sort of get that edge. You might have a better understanding of how to tell a story with your music instead of just writing music. So I'd urge you not to skip. We talk about some pretty cool stuff, influences and all that stuff. But if you do want to skip, I'll leave a little note in the description so you can just jump ahead to the bit where we talk about composing, but don't. The other thing is it's really good to be able to connect with directors on a level that's important to them. So if you love movies, if you know a little bit about filmmaking, that'll help you connect, I think, with directors, first-time directors, seasoned directors, in a way that other composers might not be able to. Maybe they just want to talk about music and composing, and they sort of live in that bubble. If you're able to sort of approach them on a level that's really interesting to them, I think that they will appreciate that. And who knows, maybe it'll give you a bit of an edge, but hopefully you'll learn something in this interview. I'm going to play the trailer for On the Rocks, and then we're going to dive right into the interview. I have some really cool interviews lined up. I'm going to be talking to someone from Isotope pretty soon, and I'm going to be talking to a really amazing mastering engineer. I'm not going to mention their name yet, but anyway. So a lot of fun stuff is happening on the Vodkast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to ask a question, I swear I'll answer it in the next episode. Vodkastpodcaster at gmail.com, or hit me up on Twitter at Jeff Manch and just put a question with the hashtag Vodcast. I promise you I'll answer it in the 4th episode of the Vodcast. Okay? Thanks a lot. Enjoy the interview.
You become an adult. You enter the workforce, meet someone, marry them, make a family, retire and die. That's not really living. Go out there. Experience life. Might as well find that one thing that you love and let it kill you.
There. Okay.
Nice.
Welcome everyone to the 3rd episode of the Vodkast. I have with me Sam, Reid, and Justin Keebs. Is that how I...
Hello.
Well, how you doing? Actually, my last name is Keeber, but I just go by Keebs.
Is it actually Keeber?
It's actually Keeber. Yeah.
Aww.
So, but
two letters off of Bieber.
I'm literally 2 letters away from being Justin Bieber. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't think so, but I was here before him.
Right.
It's true. It could get you fame one day.
Well, at least you didn't have you didn't grow up in the same era as him, so you didn't have people associating you with him on the playground, because that would have been brutal.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Okay. These guys directed a movie called On the Rocks, which I made music for, and it's done, right? Final. How do you say that? It's like it's cut.
It's
It's like 98% done.
yeah.
What's
There's-
left?
Maybe 99.
It's pretty much done.
Yeah.
We've submitted it to festivals, so we're happy with where it is. There's a few things that need some editing and a little bit of Foley, like 2 things need to be Foley.
Yeah.
But other than that, done. We sent it out. It's 2 things that will bug us, but no one else will
Right.
notice.
It's like that
Exactly.
that George Lucas thing where he goes back and he like re-CGIs all of his movies because like
we
5
really wanna-
people are really bothered by something and no one else gives a shit.
Yeah, we really want to add like some
On top
stormtroopers and
On top first.
yeah,
That'd be hilarious.
exactly.
Yeah, we fit Jar Jar into the plot. He comes in, he comes out of the tent. I don't know.
The Badlands are actually like some kind of mysterious planet, and that's the twist at the end.
It's a
is
weird
that
part of Tatooine.
they're not even on Earth.
Exactly. It's a different movie altogether now, and all your music is cut, Jeff. So we're
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so explain how you two. First of all, just before we get into it, I'm making this to sort of help people who are composing learn what directors expect of them, and what better way to do that than to talk to you guys. I actually made music for your movie, and you guys, we went through the process together. Took a long time, but so this is, I think, like really good advice for people who are just getting started or who have been doing video games and they want to move into movies, what it's like to actually work with directors. So let's just start with your background. So how did you guys become filmmakers, and can you explain the name Guerrilla Motion Pictures?
Sure. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I was always interested in film and filmmaking. When I was in junior high, I used to record fights with my little handheld camera. That's kind of my first ever thing I shot, which, looking back, it's pretty stupid filming
They
fights,
were
but
beautifully shot.
I used to, and like I'd edit it using like iMovie it was iMovie, and I put, for the one fight, I edited this driving footage with the Doors' "This Is the End," and it led up to the fight. And the fight was like the worst thing ever. It was like the most uneventful fight, but the lead up was so great.
Yeah.
Or one of the comments was just like, the production value in this is way better than the fight. But that's kind of how I started. And I always wanted to make films. And then Sam and I met in grade 8 or 9, and we kind of were like, hey, we like movies, we like making movies. So then we kind of went from there, and we made some garbagey stuff, and now we're here.
I should mention before you guys go further, there's construction in the background, right? They're like
Yeah.
literally digging an oil well behind you.
Really?
No, I'm just joking.
They are. It's I
Edmonton.
think I am sitting on oil actually.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, but if you occasionally hear shit, sorry.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
So sorry, we're moving on to Sam. So yes, would you say that Justin gave an accurate analysis of how you guys met?
Yeah, we it was grade 9. I moved out from Ontario, so I was born in Brantford, Ontario, and then I moved out to St. Albert when I was 14, and then we met in grade 9, and I think like one of the first, we had some class where you had to kind of like write, I don't know really what it was. It was like write basically things you like and whatever. So it is on my thing. I had like, I like making movies, and I had my favorite movie on there, which at the time was Collateral. And you had to like share.
It's like
with other
Michael Mann. You
people.
like Michael Mann in like grade 9?
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's all right. Okay.
That was my first introduction to Michael Mann. Was Collateral, and then I grew to love his other
we
movies.
had to make these posters for the class that were supposed to be about who we are, and I
Right.
remember I put a picture of Tom Cruise with his
Yeah.
gray beard because I just saw the film like, a week before we
Right.
had to go back in school, and yeah, that's kind of pretty much how.
That's
we
what
met.
it was, because
Yeah.
I saw the picture on there, and I was like, oh, I just saw that movie in theaters. Like that was so good.
That was one I saw, I think, 3 times in theaters.
Really?
Which, I never do that anymore. I never see a
At
film
that
3
age, I
times in
think the
theaters.
film that I saw 3 times when I was in grade 9 was probably like Flubber. That was my level of cinematic appreciation.
I
Hey,
saw,
that's a great film.
I saw Team America: World Police 4 times in theaters.
You must have been too young for that movie, right?
I was grade 10, I think. So
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was like the
So you could get
funniest thing
in?
the world.
I mean, like, just
I had to
age-wise,
sneak
you-
in.
Oh,
I
okay.
had to sneak in. Yeah, it
Right.
was rated R or 18A. So
Yeah.
I had to sneak into
Yeah.
that one.
So like you guys both seem to have like a pretty awesome taste for films. Oh, a funny Michael Mann story. I just learned
Yeah.
because I'm helping a friend make a movie now. You guys might like. Well, you might like this, Sam, as a DOP. I think you're the DOP, right?
I am, yeah.
Apparently, did you see The Last of the Mohicans?
Yeah.
Apparently, they were doing a night shoot, and Michael Mann is like freaking out, like he's just everyone's stressed and all this stuff, and they're doing like a night shoot, and then all of a sudden Michael Mann's like, "Who turned that fucking light on? Who turned it on?" And one of the cast is like, "That's the sun, Michael. that's the sun coming."
Yeah, this was like before The Revenant. They shot it all with natural light. They didn't use any movie lights on that.
And they didn't boast about it.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't use it as a marketing gimmick.
Yeah. Oh, shot this
Although
light.
it does look very beautiful. I love
The
it.
Revenant is very nice. Yeah.
Yes, no, it is. Okay, so that brings us to well, it doesn't really bring us to On the Rocks, but like, which movies, I guess, put you guys behind the camera? You talked about Collateral. What did you watch? Because a lot of people, like, when they're thinking about doing anything, they'll go to their favorite author. Let's say if they want to be a writer, and they'll like read their favorite author, and they'll take that page, and then they'll write something, and they'll compare the two and go, okay, how hard am I willing to work to make up the gap between?
Yeah.
So when you're watching these movies, which movies were just had you sort of like spellbound? You're like, this is what I want to do, and I'm willing to work really hard to make my movies look and sound as good as these. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, I can go first. Well, for me, I kind of went through like a renaissance, I guess, or like a revitalization in my movie watching. Up until I was 18, I loved like raunchy teen comedies. You know, that was like right up my alley. I loved, you know, Tarantino, blood, gore, anything like that. I loved. You know, I was, you know, typical kid. And then I took a film studies class when I was 18 years old, and it opened up my eyes to these like art house films that can actually have meaning. And there I was like, wow, film can actually mean something. And, you know, it just opened my eyes. So before that, it was, you know, just raunchy comedies. But the one movie that really kind of turned me into, or I guess what I am, is Bicycle Thieves.
Okay.
It was the first one I ever
Yeah,
watched
Italian
of that
cinema.
kind of nature. And I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. And to this day, it's one of my favorite films.
Nice. That's sweet. I didn't actually know that.
yeah, Bicycle Thieves was like the first kind of art house, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
film I saw. Is like it moved me. It was great.
That might have been one of like the first like foreign movies I actually like sat all the way through and like was like, that was a really good movie. You know,
Yeah.
like that and Seven Samurai are right up there actually.
I remember watching Bicycle Thieves in Italian cinema in university because it was like a bird course.
Oh.
And we got to the end of that movie, and I didn't understand the significance of it.
Yeah.
I was like, he just stole a bike. Who cares? And then I think a year later, it hit me that he has become himself a bicycle. And the whole time, like, our teacher was like going on about how like, oh, they're thinking about changing, or like the Italian title is like the Bicycle Thieves, but the American version is the Bicycle Thief. And like, I don't want to spoil anything. And I'm like, why is he? And then I watched the movie, and I was still like, why did he give us that big preamble? It doesn't make any.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it hit me later. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I make music, not movies. But so
That's right.
Sam, for you, what got you started? What made you think that's what I want to do?
It's kind of it's really weird, but like the movie that like made me want to actually make movies was Carnosaur 2, which is a Roger Corman Jurassic Park ripoff. And I think what it was because I was really into like these like really bad B movies as a kid. And I think what I liked so much about them was that I could see how they did things because they're only at a certain level that I'm like, it's really like I can see the tricks behind the camera.
Right.
So that was kind of inspiring in a way because I'm like, oh, I know how they're doing this. Like that's just like a puppet's head on a stick and they're just poking around the corner. So I'm like, I could probably do that too. So like my first movies I made when I was a kid, when I was like 10, was killer beaver movies, and I had a stuffed beaver puppet from that Angry Beavers show. So that was kind of like my thing into filmmaking. Before that, I used to like pretend to host my own like YTV kind of show, and I would
really?
like, yeah, I would be in my basement with my dad's camera, and I would just film these fake segments of myself, and then I would film the television. I don't know why I did that, but I guess that was like my first foray into it. But as I got older, the movies that really have like influenced my filmmaking style is Heat, Seven, Blade Runner,
Christmas
guess,
movies. Christmas movies. Yeah.
A lot of
real
them
light
really
family
nice,
family fare.
Well, happy endings. I'm really into happy endings. Yeah, those are ones like, and a lot of David Fincher's catalog there is really influential. Fincher and Michael Mann and Ridley Scott are up there on my list, and even Tony Scott.
They're like on the baseball cards for you guys.
Yeah.
Directors. Yeah. Okay, so it must have been crazy going into On the Rocks because I think it's your first feature, right?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Well, it was the first feature, but it wasn't actually planned to be a feature. It was intended to be a short film. Like, the script is only 36 pages, but somehow it ended up being, we added a lot, and it ended up being 63 minutes. So it's a shorter feature, but according to, the guidelines of what a feature is, it's considered a feature. So it unintended it became a feature.
That was weird because that kind of happened in editing too. Well, not even when we were shooting it, but I remember like as I'm doing the picture or the what the hell you call it, the first cut of it, I'm just assembling it, and I'm like texting Justin, and I'm like, I think this is gonna be a long movie. Like, this is over 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, like I'm almost at an hour. I remember like saying I'm at the drifter scene and it's like 35 minutes in.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like halfway point
so
in the movie.
much there, yeah.
Like, we ended up cutting a little bit and tightening stuff, right?
Yeah.
So we got it down a bit, but like even the original script had additional stuff in it, but it was still shorter, page number wise.
So maybe talk a little bit about the major themes and the story and the plot. Like, explain for people who maybe haven't seen the trailer or don't know anything about the film, just like a thumbnail elevator pitch, like thumbnail sketch of what it is.
So basically, On the Rocks is about these two infatuated teenagers, Grace and Adam, who decide to run away from their problematic household, and they decide to take on a life on the road, just kind of on a whim like that. And their plan is to go to the mountains and end up going to the coast. So they want to go west. And they end up getting to the Badlands, getting stranded in the Badlands, and their relationship is put to test. So that's kind of the
elevator pitch.
The A story, the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
There's a lot more going on than just that. And without spoiling too many of the themes or anything like that, we touch on, young love. We touch on kind of this idea of the natural world versus cities, metropolises, industrialization. Those are kind of our broad themes without digging too deep into that.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Sam?
Yeah, I think that's kind of that was what really stuck out to me when I read it the first time, because when Justin writes, he kind of he doesn't really tell me too much until I get the script, which is kind of cool because I like to just go in fresh. And that was really what stood out to me with that was all the nature versus kind of like mankind progress and technology, and just juxtaposing the two together was kind of interesting. And I was excited when I read it the first time to just like shoot and edit it, because I thought there's a lot of potential there to do something pretty cool and new.
And that's part of the reason why it ended up being longer, is we got down to the Badlands and you see this like beautiful, beautiful landscapes, and
I've seen the movie, and I feel like you guys like had a real love affair there. All the shots of like overcast clouds and like the night sky, and just it's almost like that. That location was like kind of in and of itself like a third character.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what wanted to do just right from the beginning, is we wanted nature to be a major conflict point. We wanted to act as almost a character that's gonna drive these characters together, apart, who knows, watch the movie. Without spoiling anything. But like the whole there's a scene where the characters are going through this old abandoned town. That was never in the script. That was when we got to that point, and we were like, okay, we can't not have this in the movie.
Right. You drive by a house and you're just like, okay, stop everything. Like, I know.
It's like an abandoned town called Dorothy, Alberta. Dorothy, I believe. And they have this like old abandoned coal mine, and it's just amazing.
There's this like old blue car that's just sitting there.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that becomes a little scene in the movie. Just
we actually. We got approached by there's like apparently 20 people that live in that abandoned town, so it's not totally abandoned.
Okay.
But the one guy approached us. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we're like, oh, we're just filming. He's like, you guys aren't vandalizing anything, are you? And we're like, no, sir, no.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, go on with it. We're like, all right, good.
Yeah.
We didn't get shot.
Thank
Well, I mean,
God.
honestly, I've been doing location scouting for this other movie, this other thing, and it is probably the most frustrating aspect of filmmaking, if not
Yeah.
like the most, because like you get to a place, it's beautiful, you get there and you show up and you're like, we just want to record for a couple days, we're doing this thing, we'll totally do an establishing shot, we got your name in the front and everything, and they're just like, they can't wait to try and get money from you and make it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
difficult for you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice, you're just like finding all these amazing locations in a place where you don't have to give anyone like a form to sign.
Exactly.
We didn't.
That was the
No one
biggest thing
signed
for
anything.
us.
No money was exchanged
Yeah.
for locations. We
Guerrilla style.
yeah, we did this.
Yeah.
We-
Oh yeah, nice little
Yeah.
tie-in. For the
We
new-
live true to our name, Guerrilla
Yeah.
Motion Pictures.
Oh no,
We do,
I don't
like-
think we answered that one, right?
Yeah, I don't think we answered.
Yeah,
Okay.
Guerrilla Motion Pictures, basically, we like to employ the guerrilla filmmaking tactics of, not getting permits,
Yeah.
shooting first and worrying about the consequences later.
Exactly. Yeah. What
There's
is
a-
the quote? What's the quote that?
Werner Herzog.
Yeah, Herzog
he
carry
said,
a pair of bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Always carry a pair of bolt. We don't go that far, but obviously
He
we don't
says,
break any laws.
if you have to
but-
spend a night in jail and
Yeah.
you got your shot, you still got your shot.
It's funny because you can quote him as much as you want, but I just hear his voice whenever someone does a Werner Herzog. Like just I'm not gonna do it here. But
It's hard to do. I don't think I could do it.
yeah. Okay, so that covers that. So people haven't seen the film, but I'm gonna link to the trailer. I might just insert the trailer here,
Cool.
if you guys are okay with that.
Oh, absolutely.
And
More the merrier.
and what I mean, people are seeing this. This is a very cinematic looking movie. I hate to use that word because I don't know if I know what it means, but it looks like if you lined up that trailer and if you lined up any scene from this film and put it up against some of the big, not blockbuster films, but if you put it up against films that would pack a theater, it's consistent with the look and feel of those films. Was that difficult to achieve, and what informed the look and feel? Maybe some movies, some references of On the Rocks.
I'll let you go. I mean, like, I guess the biggest thing was you could place, like, I think we had this ongoing joke throughout when we were filming. We're like, we could literally place anything in front of this scenery and it's gonna look beautiful,
Mhm.
just because it's amazing. Like, I love the Badlands. I love like the desert. Like Joshua Tree National Park is one of my favorite places to go visit in the world. I could spend weeks there
That's
just
so
because I
cool.
love it so much. Yeah, I'm channeling my inner drifter
Yeah.
to a tad, but that's a character from the film.
They're like, who's that?
But no, I just love the place. I love how it looks. It's kind of peaceful. It's nice.
I kind of was like, my kind of style of shooting is I kind of just go with what's there. I don't like to. I think a lot of stuff is kind of overlit that I see, and so even if I'm in a bedroom, I mean, like the scenes in the room early on, in like for instance Grace's room, is just like I think we honestly bounced like a 650 watt light off her ceiling, and then we had like I think one more to kind of do something else,
I
just
think
to add a
so,
little
yeah.
fill light, but that was it. Like it's nothing too complicated. And then outside it was all just natural light. And the thing is that really set the look for this movie is like luck. We got extremely lucky a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like there's like that scene early on where they first arrive at a campsite and they camp. It has this very kind of blue soft look, and that was totally just decided because of the weather at that moment. And we shot that early morning and there was a storm coming in, and luckily we got it before the storm came.
Right.
But it was giving us this, it looked like it was night even though it wasn't, and then
That's
in post
perfect,
I just grade it towards blue and it gives you this look. But that was it. And I think, like, honestly, going into this movie, the one thing from a cinematography point of view that really influenced me, that was kind of in my head, just the way it kind of uses the camera to place characters in the movie, was actually oh god damn it, The Fisher King. It's a Terry Gilliam movie. And then like I was really into that movie at the time, and was kind of, just watching the commentaries and stuff and just listening to the decisions that were made directorially and cinema, and from a DOP point of view, was kind of inspirational to me at the time.
And then for me, as far as the look of it, and more or less even the kind of plot. I really enjoy a film by Nicholas Roeg called Walkabout.
Okay.
And this is pretty much like my love story to Walkabout. I love it. It's in my top 10 probably favorite films of all time. Actually, truth be told, first time I saw it, I hated it. I thought it was garbage, but it's one of those movies that just grows on you, and now I'm obsessed with it. So it's kind of my love story to even just Nicholas Roeg. Actually, the main character, Adam, his last name's Roeg. It's subtle. You see it once on a text message in the opening scene.
Yeah.
But it's just a little tip of the hat. And so Nicholas Roeg. Also a bit of Tarkovsky, more in the themes of things. And a little nod to Kubrick as well in the beginning.
Okay.
There was actually, I had not seen Walkabout at the time, and you gave me it.
Yeah, I gave it to him before. I was like, you need to watch this. This is homework.
So the zooms, all the zooms and things like that you don't see a lot of nowadays. I mean,
no, you do not. The camera is just, it's almost like, it's almost just like the eye, right? You can't zoom and...
Exactly, yeah. So we're taking it back old school.
I love
Italian style zooms.
I think they're the greatest thing ever. I love zooms so much. Like, just dirty zooms. Can't get enough of them. They're fantastic.
I love the zooms.
I mean, we are only using like a 200 millimeter lens.
Yeah.
So if we had something like, well,
and I had to do it with my hands, so they're kind of rickety.
Did you guys use the same lens the entire movie?
We used three lenses. Okay. We had a wide, we had a 24 to 70, I believe.
We have Canon EF lenses. They're pretty fast. They shoot 2.8 f-stop, and so we shot with a 16 to 35, a 24 to 70, and then a 70 to 200. And that just gave us the full range we needed, really.
Well, my composer fans are probably just going to be like, when are we going to talk about the music?
Yeah.
I love this stuff. So hopefully.
It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Okay, getting to music. I wanted to know, we're going to get to how to get jobs and stuff like that, but I want to know about staying with On the Rocks. Have you guys worked with a composer before? If you have... what made you change gears, and if you haven't, how did you land on me, or what's your process like when picking a composer? I know there's like 8 questions embedded in that question.
That's a really good question. We did use a composer for 2 of our projects, and he was a friend. He reached out to us. There was an article about us in a local newspaper, and he reached out, and he's a musician. He has like a local band, and he was like, hey, I've kind of always been interested in doing film scores, so if you guys have something, would love to do it. So we went to him, and it was great. For this On the Rocks, it's a much bigger project. He's got a wife and kids and like full-time job, so he very busy, and our biggest thing was time. We need this film to pretty much be done for right now so we can enter it into film festivals. Mm-hmm. So the biggest thing was time. We're like, okay, I think we'll need to branch out. So there was a couple suggestions, and we sent a couple emails around on Facebook. No responses or anything like that. And then I was just determined, and I remember it was Adam Bentley's film, and you did the music for it.
I was color correcting it.
Yeah, and you're like, that's a really good score. Yeah. So I found your SoundCloud, and I listened to this one song, and it was, I think, your first one, and it had this angelic voice, and it was just like the most beautiful thing in the world. I had listened to it nonstop. I probably listened to it about 20 times. I thought it was so beautiful, and I was like, this is the guy. We need to somehow get in touch with this guy.
Oh,
and
cool.
I think we shot you a Facebook message, if I remember correctly.
So, yeah.
And you were quick to respond, and within probably 10 minutes of talking to you, I think we both were like, hey, this is the guy. This is for sure the guy.
I remember, like, before we messaged you, I was thinking, like, he's probably not going to message back. I mean, this guy's probably way out of our league. He's too good.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah,
no,
it's
actually
honestly did.
I'll have to pull that up. It's probably an old Facebook messages between us, but that's pretty much, like, spot-on direct quote.
Yeah.
Because that angelic song, it was, like, something you see, like, Lisa Gerrard doing in, like, Gladiator. It was just...
I don't know. Is it probably... is it like We Have No Leads at This Time? Was that the one?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
that's definitely it.
Yeah,
there's that one though piece in On the Rocks that you wrote.
I know.
And every time, that's like my favorite part in the movie, and it's really because of your music.
It's
just
so
good.
Emotional.
And there's a big change that happens.
Yeah.
But I have to call you guys more often so I can just listen to you talking. Yeah, that's great.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So before we get to that, okay, cool. So basically, you guys had some people that you want to get in touch with, and they sort of turned you down. So you were kind of networking. So that's important for people watching this to know that these guys didn't just go on SoundCloud and type the word composer. I say this because a lot of people feel like, you know, if I don't leave my house and just constantly post to Craigslist that I'm available for work, like someone will find me. It's like, I've never met you guys in real life.
No, I think this is the second time we're being like face to face on a conversation.
It's been like WikiLeaks texting each other in the dark. And,
yeah, pretty much.
I knew a guy named Adam. He's a director. You guys were working on his movie, so it was through Adam that my name got even across your desk, and then you got in touch with me. So because I knew someone, I guess, in the industry, that the point of this is, you have to get out and like talk to people and network and know people, so that when someone needs when someone's friend of friend of friend of friend, then your name can come across. But I just see a lot of guys and they're just like, how do I do this? How do I get out and get my name out there? It's like, well, you don't get gigs staying at home. You know, you have to actually go and introduce yourself to directors in whatever way you can. And
because like if you hadn't done that Adams movie, we never would have found you. Really, I don't think so.
And I think like the one story hive for what was it? It was Money or Your Life, which was the proposed story hive project that Adam was directing and we were going to produce. That's how your name kind of popped in there. And then, you know, we got in touch with you. That unfortunately didn't turn out, but it is what it is.
So you found me, and then describe maybe your the kind of sound that you wanted for On the Rocks. Did you have a sound before you guys approached me? Did you meet me and then listen to my stuff and go, oh, we saw your SoundCloud and we want this? Like, how did you guys come up with the sounds and the references to send me for On the Rocks?
Yeah, that's a good question. I like just listening to your stuff. It was really good, and you had this vast amount of stuff. Like you didn't just have one kind of genre. You're very dynamic, and that's what we loved as well. Yeah. But as far as the sounds for On the Rocks go, it was more, you know, we're not musically inclined by any means. So it was more getting across to you the tone, I think, is what we really wanted to come across to you. But we really wanted, like, I really wanted drums.
Yeah, that was
I really wanted drums at the beginning because I felt the drums worked thematically with, you know, you get these juxtaposing images at the beginning and they clash together, and you need that instrument, you need those drums to clash. And I really like the taiko drums because I believe there's like a meaning to it in Japanese. They use the taiko drums to convey a certain sort of meaning. You could Google it. I'm not entirely sure, but I remember reading it and being like, "Hey, this is really cool." And then I think I suggested it to you, and you're like, "Oh, I just got like a patch for taiko drums." Like, sweet, let's do that. And it's important. The drums were important because they happened 3 times throughout the film. They separated different acts of the film, and I think that was the biggest part I wanted. And then for sure, I wanted Grace's theme. Yeah. And for the big parts in the movie, I really wanted a Grace's theme. And I know we were talking, and you're like, oh, you know, no worries, send me if you like a certain soundtrack. And when we did our rough cuts, I watched a first Grace's scene with Time by Hans Zimmer from Inception. And
great,
you know,
amazing score, amazing sound,
yeah, it worked really well for the scene. I was like, I really like Time for this one, and yeah, it kind of went from there. But as far as other sounds go, I had no idea. I was more concerned with like mood and more mood than anything. Yeah. And I think by conveying, you know, what the themes and mood of the certain scene is, that would give you the opportunity to kind of work with that. Or I hope so, at least.
Yeah, and there was like a couple. I remember I had this like funny temporary track in the rough cut for when they get lost, and it was just this like really cheesy like do they're like lost in the desert or whatever, and because in the script it was kind of like it was like desolate and they're lost and this is happening. So I think that was one other thing that we kind of the big like note we had is that. You know, for this scene, it has to kind of feel desolate, hopeless, you know. And then the track you gave us for that was just like
unreal.
Yeah, it was really cool. Unreal. What I really liked about it is it had like this vibe of the Gone Girl score. It kind of reminded me of like little bits of that, which is like one of my favorites. And so
Yeah, Fincher again, right?
Yeah, so I was just like, I like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just seeing it come together was amazing.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal.
Those are the kind of scores that I like. I like scores done by. I mean, nothing. I think I kind of crapped on Hans Zimmer. I think, and I sent you something where I say that, and I was like, oh shit, they asked for like a Hans Zimmer kind of sound.
Yeah, you're just like, oh.
It's just that, like that's what everyone wants when they.
He's
they're just
overhyped
like,
though.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like it's from a tech like. Yeah, he is overhyped, and he's getting out of superhero movies, and he couldn't do it fast enough, as far as I'm concerned. But he also, just technically speaking, you know, it's hard as a composer working like with this setup when someone's like, "Can you make a Hans Zimmer track?" and it's like, "Sure, you want to pay to like hire a 60-piece orchestra?"
I want a choir singing in the background.
You know, it's just hard technically to come. Yeah, and then you send it to them, and it's just like, why doesn't this sound like the Harry Potter score? It's like, well, because you know they've got like a pro studio and pro gear and pro players and pro mics and pro anyway. But no, but yeah, that's kind of why I get a little miffed. It's music is so over the top and incredible that it really forces like composers to step up their game as well. And that's why I like stuff that isn't done by capital C composers. Like I love Danny Elfman and John Williams. Like don't get me wrong, but if I know that Trent Reznor is going to be scoring a movie with Atticus Ross or whatever his name is, the duo, I can't wait to see that because these are two people who, like Reznor is a guy who once sang like I want to fuck you like an animal. I'm like I can't wait to see him score a Social Network. This is going to be great.
It's unconventional, you know. They're going to do something different.
Exactly, and like Cliff Martinez, who he used
Love
to,
Cliff.
Oh, he's one of
he
my
used to be in
favorites.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was one of the founding members, and I think he left.
Wow.
And so I'm like, I can't wait to see what this guy used to be in the Chili Peppers is going to bring to this George Clooney space movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so those
I
are
love
kinda,
his stuff he does with Steven Soderbergh, like Traffic.
like
That's
Traffic.
one of my
And
favorites.
what's that movie or that TV show with? It's like about a surgeon in the 1950s or 60s.
The Nick.
Oh yeah.
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 That
We were
music
just
is
listening
incredible.
to the score actually, like last week.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah.
Incredible score.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, like I love making moody, atmospheric stuff. When people give me references from people who weren't like born or raised in a composing environment, like even Johnny Greenwood, you know, like his stuff and like Paul Thomas Anderson's movies, like it's amazing.
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic score.
Yeah.
The next question I have is, what kind of relationship do you expect to have with a composer? Like we never met, but is that something that you kind of wish like you could? I mean, you have an audio editor for On the Rocks. It was Jesse. What's his last? Jesse.
Loose.
Jesse Luce.
Yeah.
And you are able to go over to his house and sit with him and sort of watch what he's doing and watch the work that he's done. Did you was there something about not being able to walk into my apartment and sit there and do a spotting session with me that kind of bugged you a little bit, or you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
No.
I felt the biggest thing was like trust, and I think within 5 minutes, like, hey, no, trust you. You know what you're talking about. I think that's the biggest thing is trust, and it works on both ends. You know, you trusting us and ourselves trusting you, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think in like today's world, we're kind of all used to working this way because I think that's the way the world's going, right? It's going more this way. Like we've never met, but you know, I wonder what it would be like if we were in the same room. Would it be awkward? We're just like, well, what do we do?
Would it be all high five and
Yeah.
drink vodka?
Yeah. So it wasn't like you just expect, you just hope like it's someone that you can there's a nice feedback loop basically.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
That's one of the most positive experiences that I found was that you were so I guess what's the word I'm looking for? You communicated really well with us.
Sweaty?
Yeah, I'm sweaty.
Are you sure? Because I'm really sweaty right now.
You communicate us with us very well. Like you'd have a sample, you'd send it to us. You'd wait for our feedback before you kind of moved on, and I really enjoyed that. I liked how it was kind of a back and forth thing, and that's
what you hope for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just because I had nothing else to do between composing and court appearances. I have nothing else to do. No, that's good, because I think a lot of people think that in order to get jobs and to have a relationship with directors, you have to like and not knocking anyone who does this because it's a good idea, is like to move to LA or move to Vancouver, which is like the LA of Canada, kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe more Toronto, but like to move out to these places where a lot of big projects are happening. But the reality is, I'm in Toronto, you guys are in Edmonton, and we're able to work together. So maybe the geographical constraints aren't, that big of a constraint.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's so easy with technology to, like what we're doing right now. We're Skyping and it's being recorded.
So weird.
It's crazy what you can do with technology, and I think that goes a long way, even just in a working relationship too. Just kind of based off of, you'd send us a file, and you could have never done that 20 years ago,
No.
maybe even
Never.
earlier.
We never
Yeah.
would have been able to make this movie for how much we made it for 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. Like, I mean, the abilities you have nowadays to where we can do everything like out of our office.
Yeah.
And because you're not shooting film, you can shoot as much as your hard drive can fit, right? If you run out, just go buy another $200 hard drive and you're good to go. And, the same goes for music. Like Justin was just saying, you can just send a file in, 10 minutes and suddenly we have music.
Last set of questions here. Just as far as like personality and attitude goes, what would you say the right attitude is for a composer to have when working with directors? I know this isn't meant to be an opportunity to flatter me again, but like
just be Jeff.
And yeah, be you.
But
No,
if you could speak objectively, just like...
I guess positivity, trust. Those are two things, and I mean, you're gonna get shit projects. I mean, this could be a shit project. You're just not telling us,
Right.
But, but it's. I think being positive is probably the biggest thing, because you were so positive about this, and it really lifted our mood, and it made the whole experience really enjoyable.
And I'd say like another thing is almost take ownership of the movie too. Make it your own. Kind of take the guidance from a director or whoever's kind of in charge of it all. But you're a filmmaker too, I think, doing the music. Yeah. So tell the story through your music.
Exactly.
And bring something new to it. Do something that maybe they're not expecting too, the directors.
I guess to kind of go, I saw the note. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it was a question for you, like for a composer going.
You can't do that.
I can't ask the question. I can't
feedback loop.
No, I guess for a composer director. What was I going? Director asking composer.
Yeah.
What would you expect from a director? For me, I always was under impression, give tone, give mood, because fuck, I don't know a thing about music. I listen to music that not too many people enjoy. So,
well, I'll tell you, one of the things that was really illuminating to me when I was getting into composing was learning that people who go to film school aren't taught anything about how to work with a composer, and they are not only that, they are not really taught a lot about music in films and scoring in films, and that seems to me kind of ridiculous. Not just from like a what kind of education are you getting point of view, but what kind of practical experience do you expect to have with composers when you get out of film school? Yes, you know about lenses and frames and compression and like soft boxes and all that shit, but like eventually the music is going to need music, and if you don't know how to talk to a composer and communicate your ideas and your needs, it could make the project kind of crummy. It could, I don't know, you could get the impression this composer doesn't know what they're doing, but maybe you just don't know how to talk to that composer. So I think that like it goes back to what you guys have been saying. It's trust. Like, I trust you to do your job as directors and stuff. And I think that it's up to the director to kind of trust the composer to do their job, and to maybe go like, I know I don't know that much about music, like you said, Justin, but like this person that we're paying to make music seems to know a lot, and this is what they've decided to do, just like I have decided to become a director. So they must really love what they're doing, and they must really have a good intuition for what's going to work and what's not going to work. So I'm going to send them my notes and just go, I'm going to be open to what they send back, and maybe not be frustrated if it isn't exactly what I asked for, because maybe they have, they have a sense of what might work on the screen more than I would. And like you said about your favorite movie, that it was kind of alienating to you at first, Justin, like it's like, oh, I don't like this, and then you warmed up to it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people get the cues back from me or whatever, and they just instantly veto it. They're just like, I don't like this at all. But I've gotten a couple back that are like, yeah, I got it and I hated it. And then a friend came over and I played it for them and they're like, this is perfect. And then they change their mind and so they go, can you bring up that session again and send that thing back and add this? So I think it's about trust and being able to sort of go, I know what I'm doing and I know that you know what you're doing. Let's meet somewhere in the middle, and I'm open to ideas and all this stuff. Because the minute you have someone micromanaging the project, I guess depending on the paycheck, that's okay.
Oh, but yeah, that always like creatively just ruins a project. Anytime you have someone like that, you know.
Like if you're in the studio, it's like people watching this. If you're in a studio and you're a producer and you're working with another mixing engineer or something, and you don't know them very well, and you say, "Why don't we try this?" And if they say no, just right off the bat, that's a toxic relationship. Same goes for filmmaking. If like, let's say you're working on a set and you got some like, I don't know, boom people coming in, or I don't know, and you're like, could we maybe try and like get some Foley, some wild Foley right now? And they're just like, no, it's not a good idea. Like, that's bad. It's bad vibes right away.
Exactly. Like when we were kind of when we were planning before we shot this movie, we worked out kind of the language of the movie, I guess, from a visual standpoint, so that when we both understood it on the day, Justin just kind of trusts me that I know that I'm gonna kind of put the camera in the right spot. He just knows like I understand the movie. We've both talked about it ahead of time, and we can kind of just, there's room to kind of like make up and kind of come up with new ideas. Like there's so many shots that we did in this that weren't even in the shot list. Movie,
and then we get there and you'd be like, you know what, let's just do this in one. Let's do it in one shot. Like there's a lot of like oneers that were just like, I
started making these like notes before each shooting day, where I'd have like notes about the scene, what I wanted to convey with each shot. And then by like the third day I threw them away, and I was just like, you know what, this is like, the movie's finding its own pace. And I think it's good going into any big shoot with that though. And then you find your footing, and then you're good. And then you kind of find the language of it as you're shooting, I find. With really good projects, I've always found that there's ones that you just are like, this is not working, and there's nothing I can do about
just
it.
Stick to the script.
You just do your shots.
All right, I'm trying to think. Only a couple questions left here. So we've already covered this, but the first point of entry when you guys are looking for a composer, it's word of mouth, right? It's like sending emails out. Do you know anyone? Okay.
Yeah.
So we covered that.
There's tons of like Facebook groups too for anyone looking. Even just as a composer, just going on a local. We have YEG Film, so Edmonton Film. Just even posting a message there. Hi, I'm a composer. Here's some examples of my work. People will notice that. They might jot you down. They might put you down in their catalog. And when it comes time for them to get a composer, they're like, hey, I really like this guy's work. I'm going to give him a call on and see what's up. I think it's kind of getting yourself out there is big.
I've even seen people post on like Reddit on like the our filmmakers, composers. They'll go on there and post some of their work, and people will get some good response if it's good, So I think it's worth, why not? What do you got to lose by posting more?
Right.
So
just the last little bit here is kind of about money, because a lot of people ask me this. They go, what's a reasonable percentage of the deposit that you can ask for up front? So like when you're negotiating a rate and then you come up with a flat fee, basically what percentage of that is a reasonable percentage to ask for up front? So I've always answered that question, but I want to know from you guys, what would be an outrageous number and what would be a reasonable number that a composer could price themselves at deposit-wise?
I would say 100% would be completely
that would be
unreasonable.
Outrageous. Yeah, 100% in would be outrageous. But, it works for us when we contract out for our work. We 50. Usually ask for a 50% deposit. And I think 50% deposit is completely fair and reasonable. I mean, you didn't do that to us.
No, I didn't.
If you did, we would have no issues with that. I feel like 50% is completely reasonable.
Okay, 50 is reasonable.
Because then for both parties are satisfied, right? Because then it's like, okay, well, you've given me money, I can actually start, and I trust you guys. And then we know they're going to want the last part, so they're not going to just run.
And I should add a little here for composers out there. If you are not meeting the deadline, tell the director you can't meet the deadline. Don't just hide and turn off all your social media and pretend you don't exist.
Yes. Thank you.
Just say, listen, I fucked up. Don't say that, but just say, something's come up, which is beyond my control. I need one more week. Don't disappear. Because so many people forget that you're only as good as your last job. And if you poop on your reputation at the very end of the film, and then they're not gonna, like, no one's gonna say nice things about you. And people do this; they just disappear. It's like a bad breakup, and just disappear. And it's like, where is he? Well, I don't know. You can try him on here, try him on there, and anyway. So just be honest and be upfront that maybe you can't meet a deadline, and that should save you.
I would much rather have someone come out right and say, I can't meet this deadline, but here's another option. Does this work 2 weeks from now? Whatever it may be. I'd much rather have that than just like completely ignore us, be like, and not send us any Facebook message or whatever, mean emails, not returning our phone calls. That would drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's happened before to us, and it drives me nuts. You'll see me run around the room swearing, kicking the air.
I've seen it.
It's actually true.
He almost knocked over a shelf.
No, not that angry.
That's why all the construction's happening, because you tore up a room down there.
Yeah.
I punched a hole in the wall.
Yeah, my favorite wall. I also think I think having a down payment, I feel more comfortable in that position too, because I don't know that I just, whenever you haven't, even if I'm in the position where I'm giving them money, I feel more comfortable knowing that they have a certain amount, because then I know they're good and they're motivated,
right?
And they're not gonna forget about us or anything like
Exactly,
that. Yeah. And I've done that. We've had that in the past where we work with people where we don't have a down payment with, and I don't know, it's just you don't feel as comfortable. So
right, because
don't be scared to ask for money.
Don't be scared. Yeah, don't be scared to ask for money, because what it does, it I think it establishes your professionalism, right? If you're like, this is what I need from you. This is why. Can we make this happen, please? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You feel like you're in good hands that way.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
So, enough about the composing. Just the last bit here. Like, what is next for you guys now that you can kind of take off this on the rocks stuff? Like, I know you said there's 2% left that needs to be done.
Yeah.
But it's like
it's been hanging over your heads for a while, right?
I'm happy with it though. It's the other day I watched it on.
I'm watching it tonight.
Yeah.
There we go.
Blu-ray, and I watched it, and I was just like, oh wow, there's actually a movie here. So I could actually separate myself from being on set.
Yeah.
So it felt good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now for the film itself, just enter it in film festivals. We've entered it in 2 already. Just kind of sent out the Blu-ray screener, and hope for the best. I mean, we won't hear for probably until December, November for projects that we enter. So it'll be sitting around for a long time, but I can confidently say that I'm happy with it, and I'm really excited for people to see it. I'm so stoked for people to see it. And I'm excited to see their reaction, because you send it out to friends, and you never get the feeling you're getting the true response from them. It's lovely, dear. It's like your grandma. You can tell her anything. It's just, that's lovely, dear.
Yeah.
It's like that. So you never get the true response. I wanna see people I don't know watch it, and I want to gauge their reaction. Do the themes come across? What's coming across them? Their theories, even, because it's kind of open ended and to an extent. And I'm excited to hear what people come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I did a documentary, and my friend was like, she got accepted into a film festival in LA, and she had to fly out to go and see it. And there's like 1,000 people attending. It was a big festival, and she actually won. The documentary won.
Oh wow!
So, and she was like, I don't know if I want to do it or whatever. And a friend of mine was like, how much would you pay to be in a room with 1,000 people you don't know watching your movie? Like, that is an amazing experience. Like, and how much is that worth? 2,000 for the round trip? Probably. Yeah. So,
Yeah, that's what I want most. I want to see. I want people to feel, the mood.
Because that's why you make.
I don't want to spoil anything. I want people to feel it.
You make movies for people like you guys who are in high school, and they're like, oh, I saw this movie On the Rocks, and that got me thinking you know, they're from Edmonton and I was from Edmonton, and you know what I mean? Like, you just want people to kind of,
Yeah. There's nothing better than just like sitting in like a big room full of people watching your movie and you're getting like a reaction.
real time.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's a completely negative reaction,
least
I would
it's
still
something.
be happy. I like, the biggest disappointment would be if just people were like zombies and they're just, oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're just
Right.
like,
If people are hating it, oh, I love that, because that's getting a reaction. That's
Right.
something pissed them off,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I enjoy that quite a bit.
Well, I'd love, like, I don't know if you guys are going to do a premiere probably like 2017, right? At this point?
Yeah, it'll
That's
probably
right,
end
yeah.
up being 2017.
Uh,
Yeah,
it's actually crazy how long it takes to make a movie.
it's a long fucking
They
time.
always
to make
they
it.
always say it. Like I always remember hearing, oh yeah, it takes 2 years, and I'm like, it won't take that long. I'm like, we'll edit it by Christmas, and then we'll get music done in like no time. We'll have sound done in 2 months. No, it's been a year, and
August.
now we have it close to done.
Actually, I saw on the Facebook memories today, I was making a desperation post looking for extras for the school scene.
Right.
shared
For the,
that.
Yeah.
Just that, and that's like
And that
5
was,
seconds of film. Just that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
that
I had
dolly
to
shot.
drag my sister and her friends in at like 7 a.m. to this school for that scene.
And one girl came all the way from Calgary for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
To be in the 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Extras are hilarious. They're so excited to be on set.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And all for just like, you know, a muffin from Tim Hortons.
Yeah.
That's your payment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what lies ahead for Guerrilla Motion Pictures? What are you guys
Well-
up to? I know you changed your logo recently
Yeah.
and stuff.
It's been
so
a crazy year.
It's
Like
been
aside from
insane.
just doing this movie, is we also have like our corporate video and our weddings and just the whole business side of the company,
Right.
which keeps us, you know, making money and hopefully more movies. And so that's been going good, and we've been getting a lot busy. Like July was very busy.
July was crazy.
So it's pretty much, you know, keep working. And I know there's a short film that we are looking at shooting this
Actually,
month.
as of last night, I met with the producer. She wrote it, and she offered me a position to direct and Sam a position to DOP.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And so it's I like the script. It's I like the themes of it. That's the biggest thing for me. Like when I'll take a job, I'm pretty much a bad critic when it comes to scripts. Like I have to really be invested in the story, and it has to be something more than just film. It has to have some kind of meaning or special meaning. And I think this one says a lot. It has a lot to do with mental health. So I really want to pursue this film.
See, that's the thing that I could never do. What you guys like when you look at a script and you're like, yeah, I think I want to spend the next half year of my life devoted to. Like, as a composer, you're so lucky because you don't know anyone on the set. You don't like. I never met you guys. You come in totally emotionally unattached at the very end, and then you just do your thing, and then that's it. And to sort of to look at a script and be like, yes, this is what I want to spend. You know what I mean? Like, and now you think of On the Rocks and it was a lot of fun, but all the challenges you faced and the post challenges that I know you guys faced.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, and just to look at a script and be like, I want to do this all over again.
Oh,
like,
exactly. Like,
and it's not going to be like last time because this is a great script, you know. Like,
Yeah, that's gonna be better.
I've already started putting the skeleton together for the next feature, and it's gonna be bigger.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like I want to keep progressing. I want to keep evolving.
Mhm.
I don't want to be stuck here. I want
Make your next one your best one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's kind of why we work well together. Is we're both we have come from that same mindset of being like, all right, well, that project's dead. I never want to look back at that one. Now let's make one even better.
Like I want
bigger.
to challenge this one. This one, without saying too much, it's kind of a coming of age, graduate type set along the backdrop of electric dance music, EDM.
Okay.
So,
Is it starring Zac Efron?
no, it's not.
Okay.
This one, it's kind of a more personal. I'm going to use a lot of like personal experiences for myself because this is a scene that when I was like 15 years old, I was sneaking into raves and I loved the scene at that point. But now I see where the scene is now and I hate it. I think it's commercialized garbage. It's crap. The music is shit. There's a lot of underground stuff that
You know what
really
EDM
kind
stands
that's
for,
good.
right?
What, electronic
Erectile dysfunction music.
dance? Oh God.
That's
yeah.
literally people don't know that. It's a Vodkast exclusive.
I totally agree with you. I like the underground stuff now. I stick to like really underground electronic music that Yeah, that's pretty hipster of me saying,
Yeah.
but you know,
You're the original.
yeah, it's a scene that I saw go from it. It was nice because you had these people coming together, and it was just a nice experience. No fights, anything like that. Now it's just a juiced up bros, and
It's corporate now.
you know, it's corporate, it's commercialized. It's more about getting fucked up than it is about actually enjoying the music and
Or
and
more
coming
about
together.
drinking and posing than actually
Oh
partying.
Yeah.
fuck!
Yeah.
The amount of Instagram pictures.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it's gonna
Okay.
go, and you know, I have some things to say about the current state of it, and I'm not gonna hold back.
Yeah.
Steve
So-
Aoki, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, he just released a new record and it got properly crapped on by Pitchfork. So anyway, okay, let's just
Yeah.
wrap it up there. And then just lightning round one question for both of you. Favorite, if you had to go, island one film score, each of you just had to take one with you.
I've made a list.
Okay.
It's a list of 9. I really love Drive.
Cliff Martinez, yeah.
Cliff Martinez. Sorry. Only God Forgives. And
Okay.
then I really like North by Northwest and Psycho.
Okay.
Vertical can fit in there too.
Right.
I really like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, and A Few Dollars More. Any John Williams score in general. I wrote Home Alone. Love Home Alone.
Home Alone's amazing. Amazing. Masterclass.
Social Network, Girl, Dragon Tattoo, Gone Girl. Most recently, I really like It Follows. I thought
Right.
that had a very
Yeah.
cool score. I like the Gladiator soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cliche. I like the Inception soundtrack. Cliche again. And my last one, it's a film probably nobody's seen, but it's from
Flubber.
Paul Kalkbrenner.
No.
It's Berlin Calling, and he's like a German techno minimal guy. So really kind of just easygoing minimal stuff. And he did this film called Berlin Calling. The soundtrack is fantastic. And
Awesome.
he stars in it and does the soundtrack
Yeah.
for it.
I will be
Okay.
replaying that to write some of those down because there's some that I haven't heard or I haven't listened to in a long, long time.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Mine would be Blade Runner.
Oh, that's
Yes.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
too.
Vangelis.
Yeah.
God, it doesn't get better than that, really. Blade Runner, The Insider, a Michael Mann movie.
That's a great
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Heat.
Lisa Gerrard's in that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Heat was
Heat.
another one. And then Traffic. I think those are my 4. If I had to pick 4.
Those are good. Those are all really
Yeah.
good.
Collateral's there too.
Collateral.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Collateral's just it's a movie. The score and
The
the imagery
soundtrack
just
as
go.
well.
Yeah,
the
like-
soundtrack
So
is-
well.
I don't really
together.
like Chris Cornell, but when he comes in as the wolves pass by the
Oh,
car, I was just like, okay,
so
I get
good.
it. I get
And
this is awesome.
There's just something about the soundtrack mixed with the handheld digital cameras and the sodium vapor light of that movie. It's just I don't know, it creates a mood. It just works.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Falling Down is good too.
Falling. Yeah. Yeah.
I love Falling Down. That's another one that captures LA really well.
Yep.
And they're both by James Newton Howard.
Yeah. Falling Down. People, a lot of, anyone watching this, go and see Falling Down.
Yeah. We did a podcast on
Yeah.
it. You should listen to it,
Okay.
too.
Oh, yeah. Plug your podcast, please.
Oh, yeah.
How can
Yeah,
people
you-
find it?
Yeah, you just go on your iTunes or whatever your podcast distributor is and look up those guys who watch movies.
Right.
I think we have 27 episodes right now, and we're set to do another
You
one.
guys
this
have a
weekend.
crazy work ethic for those, man.
Yeah, they're fun. We've had to slow down a bit recently just because of work and
We've
everything.
been crazy busy, but we do like to do them, and we drink sometimes on them. There's a drunk podcast. I haven't listened
Yeah.
to it because sober Justin can never meet drunk
Justin gets dark on it, so
Okay.
dark and existential.
very, very.
Yeah, go listen to that. They're fun.
Okay.
They're
I'll make
good.
sure to include that in the description and
Sweet.
and all that
Maybe you'll
stuff
get us
too.
some followers there. I
Yeah.
think we're almost at 400, so
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
400
Yeah.
subs,
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have no more questions for you guys. I think
Awesome.
I've this has been a an hour and 12 minutes well spent. So,
Really? Holy shit! That flew
Yeah,
by.
for a while.
flies by.
It's my time flies when you're terrified.
Yeah.
I wanted to
No.
make sure I did this properly. That's all. Just,
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
actually.
thanks a
Really
lot for
liked
having
doing
us.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for agreeing to do it. Sam, Justin, thank you so much for being on the 3rd edition of the Vodkast. Yes, if you like what you saw here, I'll be linking to the trailer for the film. I'll be tweeting about when and where you could see it. And I'll link to the. Did I say that I linked to the Guys Who Watch Movies podcast? I think I did.
I think you did, yeah.
Okay, and I'll make sure I include that too. So anyway, Guerrilla Motion Pictures, check them out. The Twitter will be all there. Blah blah blah. You guys know what to do. Thank you very much. See you.
Oh,
later.
thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope you learned something. The next episode of the Vodkast, I will for sure, I promise, answer your questions. So write them to me at Vodkastpodcaster. I can do a mix review. We can talk about sample libraries. I play and I use a lot of them. We can talk about mix techniques and mastering techniques. So just write those to me there or hit me up on Twitter at Jeff Manch, #Vodcast. Leave a comment in the comment section. I hope you guys know by now I read every single comment. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something. Hope you liked it. And take it easy.